The government is again coming under fire for not making the Dunedin Hospital rebuild a priority following a large-scale asbestos contamination. Dunedin North MP David Clark is the Associate Health Spokesperson for the Labour Party, and he joins us to discuss the issue. Good evening.
Good evening, Rebecca.
Now, you received information last year about asbestos at the hospital. Tell us about that. Why has it taken so long to come out?
Well, it has taken a long time. Everything it seems to do with the hospital and the rebuild takes a long time. Tony Ryall, as the previous health minister, promised a full business case for a rebuild to Cabinet this year. Now that's looking like next year. Jonathan Coleman has said he will, first he said it would be a business case to Cabinet next year. Now he's talking about delaying it further through having only the first stage of a business case at Cabinet next year. This material originally came to light or became of public concern in a large-scale report into the clinical services building that needs to be replaced that was done by Becker at the end of last year. I highlighted the fact that asbestos was a concern. It's one of the reasons that the authors of that report recommend a new building for the operating theatres and the clinical services at the hospital rather than a rebuild. There are other reasons, including the use of space, the size of operating theatres and so on. Modern standards, buildings that are 50 years old have different standards to those that are built now. So all of these reasons mean we should rebuild the hospital, and of course highlighting that the asbestos was there in the report and the danger of any kind of refit brought the issues to public attention, and the hospital rightly, although slowly, has looked into whether that is actually a concern now and have discovered that it is.
Has this situation been properly handled?
Well, my beef really is with Minister Coleman and his slow response to the rebuild. What this effectively means, him putting off the rebuild project year after year, is that this situation will take longer to remedy. This building is going to have asbestos in it for the rest of its life. It is a problem that will have to be managed. That's the nature of buildings this age. And the longer the rebuild takes, the longer they'll be in the current building and the more people will be exposed to risk.
What do you think should happen now?
Well, I think the government needs to commit to a rebuild, to having a business case, a full business case to Cabinet before the end of next year at the latest, so that a rebuild can start on Dunedin Hospital as soon as possible.
Have you spoken to any locals that are concerned about the asbestos?
I have. Clinicians especially, those who are using those corridors, stairwells and so on that are now taped off with bright red tape, are rightly concerned about the risk to their health. They have been in that building and they go in there to help people day after day after day, and if they've been exposed to that risk for years, they of course are at a higher risk than the patients who come in and out.
Will you be doing anything to address the issues?
I'm going to continue to raise the issue in the media. For me, this is really important. This highlights the importance of getting on with the job. Dunedin is the last major metropolitan centre in the country to get its hospital rebuilt. Everyone across the political spectrum agrees it needs to happen. We're arguing about the timeframes, and I think this asbestos issue highlights the importance of getting on with it immediately. So we'd keep bring it up in the media and keep at the minister's heels.
Dunedin North MP David Clark, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Rebecca.